Guys, it's Way here and welcome back to another FIFA 18 Ultimate Team video, and today I'm going to show you guys some players that you need to buy before it's too late to make yourself thousands and thousands of coins on FIFA 18. What we're going to be doing is investing in cards needed for next weekend's marquee matchup Square Challenge. You can get these cards very cheap right now and they're going to go significantly in price once these SBCs are released, so we're going to be taking a look at the potential games that will be included and the best players to invest in. But before getting on to the video, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers before Christmas, and also if you guys could leave a like on the video, that would be very much appreciated. But getting on into the investments, we start off with a game that I think is almost guaranteed to be included, and it is Feyenoord against Ajax, a really big game in the Netherlands. So what you want to do is obviously go and invest in players from both of those teams. So head over to the Eredivisie. I would recommend going with gold cards for this specific SBC here, and then you just want to try and get some really cheap cards from Ajax. So you can try and get the cards on buy now, so just go and find the cheapest buy now on the market right now. That's around 600 coins, and you can buy some cards like we've just done here. You can then store them all in your club or on your transfer list, and you can actually go ahead and bid on these items too. There's another card that's just come up here. There's a Van Beek, so we can pick him up. He's actually already been bought there, but you basically just want to find the lowest buy now and invest in some cards, because this game is almost guaranteed to be included. Now, this specific marquee matchups, I believe, is going to be released around Thursday or Friday. There may be a Champions League one released before that, but that one's going to be a little kind of shorter term, so the cards will have already gone up in price. So it's more worth it to go and invest in cards needed for the one that will be released towards the end of the week. Now, you can also get these cards on bid, and you can go through and literally just spam bids of like 500 coins on loads of cards down here, and try and basically get them as cheaply as you can. So that is very, very easy. You've got loads of cards to bid on. So what I would recommend doing is getting, depending on your coin amount, around about 10 to 20 cards from each of these different games. So we can get a Vega over there. You can try and snipe these actually if you want, but you basically just want to find the lowest by now, which has actually gone up a bit now. It's about 700 coins. But you can go through and pick up a load of these cards playing for all these different teams. So we're going to start off with Ajax. We've picked up a few of those. I'll send those all to my club and transfer to the duplicates. And they're obviously playing at Feyenoord, as I just said, so a really big game in the Netherlands, two of the biggest and best teams in the country. So again, Feyenoord, just find the lowest by now for Feyenoord players and try and get some of them. So Vermeer, we'll get him, Vilhena, we'll pick him up as well. And I've currently got around 60k in kind of coins to spend. I've obviously got a lot more with players and other investments, but right now I've got about 50 to 60k to spend, so I'm going to be probably getting about 10 cards from each of these different teams to make some good investments. So you could easily see these cards doubling or tripling in price and making you a lot of profit. So I really would recommend getting plenty of these. Now, you never really know if they're going to go down a route where you need maybe a specific number of nations in your team, where some foreign players like Larson could be good, or Jones, or whether they're going to go down a route where you need maybe a full Dutch team with a couple of these players included from each of the different teams. But if you just cover all bases and get a good amount of players, I'd say, from each of those teams, you should be good. Now, that is one of the main games I think will be included. Also, Galatasaray against Fenerbahce. I think that is a very, very likely game to be included. One of the biggest rivalries, if not the biggest, in Turkey. So what you want to go ahead and do here is get some cards from each of the teams, do exactly the same thing. So let's go with gold cards from Fenerbahce. As you guys can see, there's quite a few we can go ahead and pick up. If you can get some rare cards, that's even better, because often there is a rare requirement where you need maybe 4 or 5 different rare players in your team. Again, you can get these cards on bid, but currently my transfer targets are pretty much full up with investments for League SBCs, so I'm not going to go and get any there. But as you guys can see, there's plenty of cards you can get on buy now here, obviously from Fenerbahce, and you guys will be able to either complete the SBCs really cheaply if you get all these cards here, or you're going to be able to make a load of profit when the SBCs come out. So plenty of different options. No matter how many coins you really have, you can still make some investments. I mean, even if you only have like 10k, you can get 3 or 4 cards from each of the teams I'm going to be showing you, and that's going to make you a good amount of profit, hopefully, once these SBCs are released. Now, it's not guaranteed that every single one of these will be released, but I'm going to cover about 6 or 7 different games in total. And normally 4 are included in the marquee matchup. So if you guys cover all the bases, you're getting these cards cheap. You can just keep them in your club for any future SBCs if they're not needed. But at least 4, or at least I'd say at least 3 or 4 of these are going to be included, because I'm going to be covering pretty much every big game that's happening next weekend. So the game after that is, well, actually we should probably get some Galatasaray players, but we're going to go and get a couple of them now. They're actually a little bit more expensive, so maybe don't get too many of these. If some cards are really expensive, like in this case there, you're looking at about 1,000 coins, you don't have to go and get them. But I mean, if you're getting a rare player like Faguli, you could just go and spam bids on loads of these cards, so just pick them all up on buy nows like I'm doing here. With a rare card like this, even if he's not included in an SBC, I mean, you're still going to be able to either discard him for 600 coins or sell him for about 700 or 800. You're not really going to lose out, so there's pretty much no risk investing. So we're going to go and send those to the club, keep the rest on the transfer. So that is that game covered. Next up is Spurs against Liverpool, probably the biggest game in the Premier League next weekend. So you want to, again, go and get some Spurs and Liverpool players. And this game is probably going to require quite a high-rated Premier League team or something. So if you can get some highest-rated cards, the higher rated the better, you should be good. So they're actually quite cheap. I mean, cheaper than Galatasaray players by the look of it. So there's plenty of good investments to be picked up from Liverpool. Again, you can go and get these cards on buy nows, as I showed you guys, well, as I'm showing you right now, or you can get them on bid like I already showed you earlier on. But as you guys can see, there's loads of players you can get, loads and loads of different cards, and these are going to go up a lot in price because I reckon a lot of people want to complete this. You're probably going to get like a 25k pack or something just for completing a Spurs against Liverpool SBC in the marquee matchup. So if you guys can go and get just one or two of each of these cards, Karius is a good one, he's 80 rated. So if you can get a few of those, you should be good there. We've got a Lovren 81, I mean that's a decent one. He has already been picked up though, but as you guys can see, plenty of different cards to get. So we're just going to get a load of these investments there, send them all to the club, and you could easily see these cards going up by 1,000 or 2,000 coins and making you a load of profit if this game is included, which I almost guarantee it will be. It's probably the biggest game out of all of these, at least in terms of the two teams. I mean, they're two teams battling for the top four in probably the biggest, most competitive league in the world, so I can really not see any other option than this being included. But Spurs players seem to be a few less. There's a lot of non-rares that we can get for. We can get Davis as well, but there's plenty of different options here, and we can get a load of them very, very cheaply. Again, you can get these on bid if you want. I mean, I can't because I have almost a full transfer targets with cards that I've been bidding on. There's a Sissoko here. If we can get him, that'd be a good deal. Yeah, we have actually managed to get him. But as you guys can see, loads and loads of players. Go through, pick up some of them, and we're going to send those to the club. And also, if you guys do want to see videos for this every single week, then I can definitely do that. Just let me know in the comments. And if you leave a like on the video, if we get good support on this, I'll definitely know you guys do want to see more of it. But that is another game covered. Next up, we've got Marseille against PSG. This is a really big game in Ligue 1 between two big teams, but the only thing is Marseille were included a couple of weeks ago in the marquee matchup, so I'm not 100% sure if they will be included again so shortly afterwards, so potentially not, but it is a really big game, so I would definitely still recommend investing for it. So we can go through, pick up a couple of cards there. I mean, you've got a few decent options. We've got Pele, we've got Abdenor, you've got a couple of different cards there that you can get very, very cheaply, like 600 or 700 coins. If you can get rare cards like Mitroglou, that's even better. I mean, you can discard him for 650 coins, and he's 81 rated anyway, so that's a really good one. Luis Gustavo as well. Those rare cards, if you can get them, they're really, really good investments to get. But there we go. We've covered that game now. Spent about 5k on investing. That's what I'd recommend doing, unless you've got, I say, over 100k. Just spend like 5,000 or 6,000 coins on each of the different teams you're investing for, and you should be good. But that's that one covered. Now let's head over to PSG. These cards are going to be a little bit more expensive, but these also are going to be decent for any league SBCs in the future. You're going to be covering that option too. You can keep these as investments for those if you want. But I would recommend just going with gold cards for these, as normally you are going to need a full gold team, except for some of the slightly smaller games, which I'll be covering in just a moment. But the only real one here seems to be Kimpembe. I'd still recommend picking him up though. We've spent about 5k on him, so we're going to go and send all of those to the transfer list. And now we've got a couple of smaller games, and I reckon we're going to definitely have Spurs against Liverpool, definitely have Galatasaray against Fenerbahce, and then probably have Marseille against PSG, unless they don't do it because Marseille were already included. And then we're going to go and have one probably of either Feyenoord against Ajax, Austria Vienna against Rapid Vienna, which is the next one we're going to be investing in, which is in the Austrian Bundesliga down here. That one will probably be included, or we may have a couple of smaller games which I'll be covering in just a moment. You can actually go and get some really, really cheap bronze and silvers as well, or you were able to actually when I last invested, but they've gone up a little bit in price already, but you can still get bronzes, silvers. This time out I would recommend going and getting some lower rated cards. You can get these on bid very, very easily, and that's going to make you even more coins, but you can get bronzes right here. I wouldn't recommend going overboard and getting like loads of these cards just in case they're not included, as you're getting bronzes for quite a high price. But if this SBC is included, if this game is included, they're going to go up a load in price. Like these cards could be going for like 5 or 6k and could make you huge amounts of coins. But if you go through and get these cards on bid, there's plenty of options down here. You can just spam bids on loads of players and get some really good deals by doing this. I'm not sure if there are any gold cards playing for this team. There aren't right there, but we can also go ahead and cover Rapid Vienna. They don't have any gold cards, but they're going to have bronzes and silvers that we can hopefully get quite cheaply. So we go up, see what they're actually selling for right now. About 1,000 coins. Yeah, we've got a few cards to go and invest in here. Again, don't go overboard with the investments. Just get maybe 5 cards from each of these teams. You don't want to be spending loads on them, but if you get them cheaply, then you can still make some really good profit. I mean, 1,000 coins is quite a bit, but if you get these cards on bid, you're obviously going to be able to make that a little bit extra profit on them. But there we go, we've covered this game. I'm going to send all of these to my club right there. And then a couple of other games, I'm just going to scroll down here, I have a list of them on my computer. We've got Ipswich against Norwich, which is a Norwich derby down in the southeast of England. And then also we've got Kaiser Chiefs against Orlando Pirates. So those are 2 slightly smaller games. Not 100% sure if they will be included, but it's always worth covering every option. So the only 2 teams in the South African League are Kaiser Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. So we can basically just go and get some cheap cards from this league as a whole, and hopefully should be good. So just get the cheapest ones you can, really. I mean, 350 for this guy here. I'll definitely pick him up if I can. He has already been bought. But if we just find the exact lowest by now, 700 coins seems to be it. So we can just go through, pick up some cards from here. We've covered both teams with those, and again, just get some cheap cards here. And because there aren't many from this league at all, they could go up a lot in price if they are needed for an SBC. They could go up to maybe 6,000-7,000 coins. We've seen that in the past. We saw that with players from some of the Australian teams in the last marquee matchups. They went up loads and loads. I mean, some of them were going for pretty much 10k just for a non-rare bronze in some cases. So this one is a good one to invest in. And then finally, as I said, we've got Ipswich against Norwich. So we're going to go ahead and get some investments there from the Championship. So this is going to be the final one. Final over there, Ipswich right here. Get the cheapest cards you can from them. This one no one seems to have noticed so far, but you never know, it could potentially be included. It is a game in England. It's quite, well, not really a big game in terms of the teams because it's obviously in the Championship, but it's quite a big kind of local derby for the 2 teams in that area. So we can go and get a couple of these cards. They're so cheap. I mean, you're not really going to lose out. It's no risk getting these types of cards here because you can get them for 150 coins if you want on bid. As already explained, though, I can't really get any cards on bid because of my transfer targets being full up. We're now just going to go and get a couple of Norwich players just to finish it off. And there we go, we've covered all of the different teams. I think that's every single option covered. I don't think there's going to be any other games potentially getting into the marquee matchups. But if you guys go and cover all these different options and get some investments covering all the teams, you should be able to make some guaranteed profit. Even if you go and invest quite a few coins in an SBC that isn't included, you're going to be able to cover all your losses and then still make plenty of profit from the other games. Because all the games I'm covering here, I think at least 3 or 4 are going to be included in the marquee matchup. So if you do that, you should be good. You should be all covered, and you should make yourself a ton of coins. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and get that guy as the final investment. And that is it. There we go. Send all these cards to the club. Got them very cheaply. And these cards could go up a lot. They could go up to like 3 or 4k. You're getting them for 200 coins, so no risk investing there. But there we go. Hope you guys did enjoy. Just going to send these over to the transfer list. Hope you guys enjoy. Go and get the investments. You will make a load of profit. Just get them as soon as you can. Get them as cheaply as you can, and you should be good. So if you guys enjoy, leave a like if you want to see more content like this on my channel. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care.